Thanks for watching Film Buff. Really, honestly, it's fucking great.
Hello, how's it going, guys? Back for Doctor Who. Just watched a fantastic episode. Super excited to get into part 2 of this. It all set up nicely. But before I get into it, I need to thank all the amazing patrons. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for sticking around. And yeah, a reminder to anyone else, you can get early access and you can get access to full-length reactions on Patreon. So if you're into that, check it out. Okay, so let's just get right into this episode.
I can't get a reply, just nothing. I keep trying, but it's...
No, sorry, I'm fine. Still here.
Said you're stupid.
Whoa, careful. Anyway, it's both of us, me and Ida. Hello.
I'm initiating strategy 9, so I need the two of you back up top immediately. No.
Oh.
Ida! Ida!
What do you think?
He gave an order.
Yeah, but what do you think? If there's something in there, why is it still hiding?
Maybe we opened the prison but not the cell.
Oh.
We should go down. I'd go.
That is so human. Where angels fear to tread, even now standing on the edge. It's that feeling you get, eh? Right at the back of your head. That impulse. That strange little impulse. For once in my life, Officer Scott, I'm going to say... retreat. Oh, I know I'm getting old.
Look at his face. Whatever it was, it's gone. It passed into the ooze. You saw it happen. He's clean.
I don't know, man.
Any sign of trouble?
It came back before.
Shoot him.
Okay, we're in. Bring us up.
Ascension in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that easy.
What then? You're the truth behind the myth?
This one knows me, as I know him, the killer of his own kind.
How did you end up on this rock?
Before time.
What does that mean?
Before time.
What does before time mean?
That's why he couldn't understand the language.
Time.
That's impossible. No life could have existed back then.
Is that your religion?
It's a belief.
You know nothing. All of you. So small.
Damn.
And the lost girl. So far away from home. The valiant child who will die in battle so very soon.
No.
So what does that mean?
Rose, don't listen.
What does it mean?
You will.
Better not be foreshadowing.
What the hell was that?
That thing.
Because that thing's creepy.
We've lost pictures, Mr.
Doctor, how did it know? Did anyone get in and out?
Jefferson.
Stop! What did it mean? No one just stop! What do we
You
do?
report.
Stop panicking, man.
You want voices in the dark? Then listen to mine. That thing is playing on very basic fears. Darkness, childhood nightmares, all that stuff. All with one advantage. The beast is alone. We are not. If we can use that to fight against it.
God damn.
They're stuck down there.
Oh. So now there's only one thing. You go
much air
deeper,
have we got?
down below.
60 minutes. 55.
Okay, doctor.
That's a good idea now.
Let's see, man. That's a creepy looking fucker down there.
That itch. Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down.
The urge to jump. You know where it comes from? That sensation. Genetic heritage. Ever since we were primates.
The junction in Habitation 5's been opened. It must be the Ood.
Oh my god, that is creepy.
Open the gate.
I gotta get the air in.
Just open it.
Lack of air seems more natural than... Well,
The Oods.
let's say death by ood.
Oh, Death by ooze.
Appreciate it, sir.
Toby, get out of there!
Help me! Oh my God! Help me!
Sneaky bastard.
He did it. He did it!
Yes!
Zach, we did it. The Oda down. Now we've got to get the doctor.
You get representations to the Horned Beast right across the universe. The myths and legends of a million worlds. Earth, Draconia, Volconsidine, Deimos. The Khalid god of war. It's the same image over and over again. Maybe that idea came from somewhere. Bleeding through.
But if this is the original, does that make it real? Does that make it the actual devil?
Well, if that's what you want to believe. Maybe that's what the devil is in the end. An idea.
What about you?
I believe I haven't seen everything, I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? The things you make out the rules. Still, that's why I keep travelling. To be proved wrong. Thank you, Ida. If they get back in touch, if you talk to Rose, just tell her. Tell her.
He's gonna say it?
Oh, she knows.
Doctor, are you there? Doctor, Ida, can you hear me?
But we'll never find out what it was.
Well, maybe that's best.
Yeah. Just go. Good luck.
Damn, man. Hey, this is good stuff. This is like really good, man.
Is beast. The animal. Just the body. Or just the body, the physical form. What's happened to your mind? Where's it gone? Where's that intelligence?
He got out.
I've seen fake gods and bad gods and demigods and would-be gods. None of all that. Out of that whole pantheon. If I believe in one thing, just one thing, I believe in her. This is your freedom! Free to die! You're going into that black hole and I'm riding with you.
Nothing shall ever destroy me! Nothing!
Go to hell.
But no. TARDIS!
What happened?
Sorry about the hijack, Captain. This is the good ship TARDIS. Now, first things first, are you going to roast Tyler on board?
I'm here, it's me! Where are you?
I'm just towing you home. Can we do a swap? Say if you give me Rose Tyler, I'll give you Ida Scott. How about that?
She's alive!
Yes. Yeah. Bit of oxygen starvation, but she should be all right.
I don't know. I can't remember. That creature, what was it?
I don't know. Never did decipher that writing. But that's good. Day I know everything. Might as well stop.
Said I was gonna die in battle.
Then it lied.
Hang on, though, Doctor. You never really said. You two. Who are you?
Oh. Stuff of legend.
This is the final report of Sanctuary Base 6.
Okay, man, so fantastic episode. You know, a fantastic two-parter. I firmly placed this two-parter right behind The Girl in the Fireplace as my favorite episodes of season 2. This could easily pass as a science fiction film on its own. You know, really good. It was actually really good. If you combine the two parts, it could pass off as a movie, man. Absolutely beautiful moment at the end. Rose and the Doctor reunited in the TARDIS. Oh my god, just, you know, the score, the embrace, the acting, just, you know, everything about that scene. You know, it got me teary-eyed again. It was a beautiful moment, you know, and speaking of the score, if someone could please let me know the name of that track. You know, that track has such an emotional pull to it. And it's actually a recurring theme throughout the two parts. So yeah, if you guys know the name of the track, please leave it in the comments. I really appreciate it. And I thought it was a great touch at the end there. You know, to name all the Oods, you know, give them a proper send-off. There's actually a really sad scene in there. It's only a few seconds, but it's, at this point, the Ood are not under control anymore. But, like, you know, they don't know what's going on. And, like, they're you know, embracing each other in fear. And unfortunately, you know, they had to go down, you know, with that planet. So I thought it was a great touch at the end there by the captain, you know, to name each one of them. So there's actually a lot to talk about in this episode. Let's begin with a character I really liked in this episode, Ida. In the beginning of the episode, the captain asked her to return, right? No, he commanded her to return. It was a direct order, right? But this is not something she could just forget. You know, after getting this close, right? This is not something she could forget. So instead, she asked the Doctor his opinion on this, right? And also, you know, disobeying a direct order from her captain. In fact, it was her who said, you know, let's go down there. And, you know, there's that awesome moment of the Doctor kind of looking over, and it's like, that's so human. You know, I think in that short span, she was able to kind of read the Doctor and kind of see that, you know, this is someone that's kind of similar to her. And yeah, I guess she really respected his opinion, you know, or at least she was interested in his opinion. And then the Doctor kind of goes on about this feeling, that impulse, that lingering in the back of your mind, right? Like, go on, do it, like the temptation. In fact, at one point he kind of, you know, realizes that this is what the Beast hopes for. You know, it's banking on this, that they give in to this temptation. In fact, the Beast literally said, I am the temptation at one point, right? So, you know, interestingly, apparently for the first time, the Doctor said, retreat, you know? But there's a good reason for that. But I mean, at the end of the day, they still have to end up going down below, right? That had to happen, of course. They had to go down, or the Doctor had to go down at some point. And going back to Ida, even at the end of the episode, she could not allow the Doctor to depart, you know, without asking him about his encounter, his findings, right? You could tell she needed to know. I think Ida could really be a fantastic companion to the Doctor. Now, you know, of course, she's a totally different type of companion. If you compare it to Rose, you know, Ida could be like an assistant. And I would say Rose is more of like a travel companion. She's more than happy to learn new things. And she's grown so much, she's progressed so much. And I'll talk about that in a bit. Later on, it comes into play. But from the beginning, since season 1 or series 1, she's been like the audience surrogate, right? She's been our introduction to the Doctor. That makes me think of like future companions and like their take on it, their approach to this role, this position. I'm a big fan of Karen Gillan, so I'm excited to get to her at some point. Jenna Coleman. I'm excited to get to Jenna Coleman. So back to the Doctor and the Beast. Much of this episode is actually dominated by the question of, what the Doctor believes in, right? It's a major focus of this episode. And actually a lot of interesting stuff comes out of it. Earlier on, the Doctor actually got, quite frustrated, agitated, angry, because, this beast, it said before time And that is something that kind of triggered the Doctor. You know, he's like, he instantly questions it. He's like, what does that even mean before time? You know, because to him, as he understands things, that is impossible. You know, that is impossible. So, you know, that's something that really kind of, you know, agitates him. And I think there's like an interesting moment there, because as the Doctor tells this beast, you know, that's impossible, over and over, you know, he tells him it's impossible. But at one point, the beast, you know, speaking through the Ood, you know, he asked the Doctor, is that your religion? And the Doctor, he's got a bit of a perplexed look on his face, right? And he's like, it's a belief. So this beast actually ended up doing something I haven't seen too much of in the show before. It defied the Doctor's attempt at categorizing it. You know, that plays into the next point, because this beast, it preys on their fears, right? It legitimately goes through all of the crew one by one, and verbalizes some of their fears, something only they could know, right? And this is something that just sends them all into panic mode. It rattles them, it unsettled them, and this is exactly what the beast intended, right? To put them in this position. Now, Rose had a really interesting one, because it said that she's gonna die in battle. And, you know, again, at the end of the episode, she brings it up again, and the Doctor said, you know, it lied. Now, you know, it's a scary thought, because, you know, could this be foreshadowing? I mean, is that how Rose is going to exit this show, right? And then there's going to be a new companion? I don't know, man. The Doctor, you know, he tried to tell her that, you know, that it's lying, but I don't think even the Doctor knows that for sure, right? It could be true. You know, it could be true. The Doctor knows that the beast is trying to unsettle them, and it's been successful because all of them are in a state of panic. But, you know, he tries to reel them back in, right? And in doing so, he kind of delivers this tribute to the human spirit. And speaking of that human spirit, there's that fantastic scene, you know, that chase sequence, you know, and that required a really disciplined and careful execution, both on the captain's end and the group that's trying to skip the Ood. And, you know, it made for a thrilling scene. It was actually a really great scene. The actor playing the captain, I thought he was great in both episodes. But, you know, especially this one. It's actually a really good scene close to the end of the episode. Rose said, of course, you know, I can't go. But he makes the call. You know, he tells her, no, I can't leave you behind. And he said he's lost too many people today. He's not going to lose anymore. And you can see the grief, right? But you could also see the resilience of a solid captain. And, you know, going back a bit, there's a really great moment, because Rose, you know, she was basically responsible for getting them all back on task, you know, back in form. You know, she heard the Doctor, she knew exactly what the Doctor meant, and she carried out the message after they lost contact. So, you know, she was the main reason they actually got it all together, right? She is most definitely the Doctor's companion, right? She's so much more than just that starry-eyed traveler I saw back in season 1. She's learned so much, right? From the Doctor, and these moments are great to see. You know, in the Doctor's absence, Rose kind of steps in. You know, I've seen that a few times now in season 2. Now speaking of Rose, you know, this beast was basically banking on the fact that the Doctor could not or is not able to, you know, make that difficult choice, you know, of putting Rose at risk. The beast was banking on it, and I think in the past it could have succeeded, right? If you go back to season 1, Eccleston, there's a moment, you know, in that Slitheen arc, that he could save the planet, but it would mean risking Rose's life. And at that point, he couldn't do it, right? Because he remembered the promise he had to Jackie, and he was so dead set on making sure that she's protected and she doesn't get hurt. But since then, the Doctor has changed his take, right? You know, because Rose has progressed, you know, she's grown. So is the Doctor, right? And he sees that, you know, the ideals she believes in and represents are fundamentally more important than her specific existence, right? You know, and then he's able to make that choice because he believes in her so much. Before he smashes those pots, you know, there's that, you know, line about him, you know, meeting fake gods, bad gods, demigods. But, you know, the one thing he knows for sure, the one thing he truly believes in is Rose. Now I'm jumping kind of back and forth here, but, you know, one of my favorite parts of this episode, or any Doctor Who episode, man, that scene of the Doctor descending into the pit. First of all, from a visual standpoint, oh my god, just beautiful, man. Just beautiful minimalistic cinematography there. The framing of those shots as the Doctor is speaking to Ida, you know, it's just the Doctor and the rope and nothing else, just darkness. You know, so I love that minimalistic nature of it. You know, it was so aesthetically pleasing. And then the other interesting part of this scene is the conversation itself, right? As he descends into the pit. You know, it's his take on, you know, this representation of the Horned Beast right across the universe, right? And hey, he's theorizing that perhaps it all comes from a source, man, and that it's bleeding through. You know, it's actually left quite ambiguous if indeed this beast is the devil, you know, or maybe this alien being from before the universe kind of served as the blueprint, right, for that infamous archetype throughout the galaxy and religion. You know, and I believe the Doctor said that's basically what the devil is at the end, an idea. So food for thought, right? An idea. But that whole scene, one of my favorites of the show, you know, of the series. Just, you know, from a visual standpoint, of course, I absolutely loved it. And then, you know, the conversation that's taking place. Really interesting stuff. You know, and speaking of the beast, I actually did get to see the literal body of the beast. Now, I was a little bit surprised. I thought maybe they're gonna, you know, not show the body at all. Because sometimes it is scarier, you know, to not show it, right? You know, that mental image. It just... sometimes it's just more effective than showing it. But in this case, I guess it kind of made sense to show it because they had to, you know, establish that, you know, the body of the beast and the sentient being are two different things right now, right? The mind of the beast is not actually present. The beast itself, the one the Doctor faces, ends up being just that, a beast, a mindless monster, right? The mind, you know, possessed Toby. And at that moment, it was trying to escape. Again, much like the Thing, right? You know, the Thing's main goal was to leave that base, you know, by replicating someone's body and, you know, just kind of slip out undetected. Same kind of thing going on here. You know, this beast, the actual, you know, the mind of the beast is trying to escape through Toby in that rocket. And it almost got out. Once again, that faith in Rose, that belief in Rose, you know, it paid off because she kind of took care of it. She took care of the situation. You know, and speaking of Rose taking care of this problem, I got probably one of the best go to hell moments like ever in anything. You know, it was just so topical. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think I've talked about everything I need to talk about. Everything I really liked about this episode. Again, you know, a great episode. Really enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys thought about it. I would love to get your thoughts on how this episode ranks. You know, I love checking out the comments because, you know, I can't really search anything up because, you know, there's always that risk of spoilers. So a lot of times I get a lot of cool information through the comments. So, you know, keep them coming. And that does it for the 3-episode marathon. I enjoyed that quite a bit, man. You know, now the first episode, The Idiot's Lantern, not the best episode, but then these past 2 episodes really, you know, really stepped it up. You know, again, my point about the quality of these episodes just fluctuating, right? This one and the last one ended up being such fantastic episodes, you know, some of the best of season 2. So I'm guessing this is going to be a thing that kind of happens throughout, you know, because there's a lot of episodes. Not every episode can be amazing. Not every episode can be great. There's going to be a few not so great episodes, and that's okay. That's okay. It's a long series. It's expected, right? But yeah, thanks for checking that out. I'll see you soon for the next episode. Take it easy.